before and had no answer for the bot lane. So hopefully this time Kium have a better answer.
Let's see.
A better plan.
Yes. Well, I would like to see the gameplay. We did not see any of the gameplay. As we'll see Rumble banned, unsurprisingly. Orianna and Ryze are off the table. Pantheon gets banned actually by D+, even though they have first pick.
Yep, just like last game. It seems like they don't want to first pick it, which is fine.
We saw this Jace ban from Hume in game 1 as well, so just kind of keeping it the same here.
Yeah, they also banned Vi, which it's a great Lucid pick. And Lucid's like, yeah, I didn't want to play that anyway. We want to play Azir.
Yeah, Yukala's like, what? What are we going to ban now? Starts typing in like different champion names. Azir will be the ultimate choice here they go for. So Ashe, Yunara, these picks are premium, especially because the Karma is gone. Feels pretty good to Ashe Seraphine, but also if you have a Yunara Lulu lane, that also feels pretty powerful if you feel like you can get through the laning phase. Going Jarvan does just open up a lot of different possibilities. It closes the door on a Sivir pick, but I do think that you go Ashe Seraphine here pretty comfortably if you are KRX, but you have to trust that your bottom duo, which struggled quite heavily in the first game, is going to be able to get it done.
What if Willard just slams the Lee Sin like Owner in the last series?
All right, looking for the Yunara. Don't talk about that. It wasn't supposed to just lose early game and then win later. They don't have Gnar anyways. So this is going to be Ambessa, so they're definitely looking for the Lulu on 3. So do they Ashe Seraphine into this? They try to deny the Lulu. Lulu Jarvan also quite strong.
Lulu.
Like, do you go Lulu Jinx? Do you go Felios here?
Or you pick somewhere
Corki
else.
Nami, don't do it! Don't you dare Corki Nami.
That's not allowed.
That's not on the list of approved counters. I'd rather see Yuumi. There is no Gnar, so, and there's no Cannon. So we'll just swap over to Annie instead.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we got that resolved.
I think they could still play the Renekton Annie. So they have a really strong top side. We do not yet, however, know what their plan is to deal with Yunara Lulu, which is very strong with Ambessa. We have two teams that have insanely strong setups with their junglers, but again, I kind of like the QM draft. The Lulu is just she's right there. She was right there the whole time. It says Shyvana is globally banned right there on the top as well. Yeah. And I look at the supports and I see a Nico and a
I feel like nowadays a lot of our teams are actually showing so much focus on the top lane, whereas in our opinions we are still very focused on the bot lane matchup, the jungle, you know, kind of where a lot of the team's bread is buttered most of the time. And I get it, you know, the top lane is a scary place right now where there's not a lot of blind pickable stuff. So they're like, we have to get Cassante, otherwise Rich will just lose the lane so hard. But, I mean, Yunara Lulu feels so good, especially into Annie Jarvan.
Well, I mean, now that there's going to be a Lulu ban, certainly here, if they just ban like Leona, I don't even understand. Give me back that fan. So nobody's. They gave me the knuckle touch, but they didn't give me the ban sign again.
Yeah.
All right. So Lulu is banned.
Hey, we
so
did
like
it.
Now I want to know what is the plan here, because it's blind. Obviously, what you're playing into right now, you have no information about the bottom 2v2. But you ban the Ashe, you ban the Nami.
You got to pick mid and save counter, I would assume, or you play Bard.
I mean, Andal's Bard is really good.
That's a good choice.
But
I like it, at least.
I like it. But was it worth getting Cassante and losing the Lulu for is the real question to me.
No.
Because now you might still lose lane. There's no Karma, there's no Nico. The Lulu is banned. Could just be a Lucian lane or an aggressive Corki. No Nami to pair with it. Corki Nami is the most common Corki lane right now, but it used to be Corki Nico, which is also fearlessly banned. So what Career ends up going for here, not a lot of range supports.
Corki Rakan?
Corki Jana? Reckless isn't playing with Smash today, so.
Yeah. Let's see what he ends up going for. Because
these drafts have gotten quite bizarre.
Yeah, this whole day has been, okay, well, Anivia, it's Career's turn. He's got a little smile. He's happy about it.
I still don't trust that this is real fully, so it wasn't in my list of approved range supports. As it looks like we are just going to see the Aurora to come through here for UCal. I would have rather seen a Lulu, but I still kind of like Kiwoom's draft as long as they can get through the laning phase without making any mistakes, because the bottom lane is volatile. It's not a shoo-in sort of setup. Shurin. To my chagrin. This series broke me. I don't think that Lazyfield and Andil will win this lane by default. They have to play it well. They have to time, the bindings for Andil well. They need to be careful of the wall. Yunara doesn't have safety in that lane. And Rich is going to be laning as Cassante into Renekton, so there's a lot of prio power there. And the Jarvan is just in general quite strong. But if they can get out of the lane, they can do great things. And this is basically what we said in game 1 as well. They could not get out of the lane. It felt like they were in lane until the Nexus exploded. UCal came out of the fountain. He was like, I'm on my way back to what's left of this lane, which is the Nexus turrets, and I'm going to try to defend. So let's see if D plus Kia just dominate with pressure again in this game with the insane CC setup they have. Or will Kiwoom play League of Legends in game 2?
Still looking for that to happen tonight, and I think they've at least set themselves up a little bit better this time. D plus Kia up against Team KRX, game number 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, game number 2. Getting ready for some League of Legends. I'm excited for it. I can feel it is going to happen this time.
Is that your tempo vibe?
Yeah.
Like that League of Legends will happen?
I think so. I think D plus Kia, Career's playing Anivia, Showmaker's playing Annie. I don't think they can help themselves. I think we're going to get some happy gaming, and I think it's going to give an opportunity for Kiwoom to actually play the game. That's my read.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that I think the opposite will happen. And that Showmaker's going to have a really good Annie performance. He's going to lane aggressively. Then look for early skirmishes around this Corki. And the terrain manipulation that Career can have. She was early skirmishing power. Jarvan, pretty easy to execute in this draft. And the composition of Kiwoom, by the way, if they get out of the laning phase, got some scaling options, great. Really hard to play. Really hard to play. You got to play her on Bard ultimate. Their Aurora has to flank, but use her ultimate in a cool way. Will needs to make sure he's ulting, but not ulting too far, hitting the right target. Rich needs to be a front line. It's a little tricky. Whereas D plus just kind of CC those champions and kill them. When we CC together, that's when we're strong. That's what Showmaker's telling his team. He's the captain right now.
But Cassante is his mortal enemy.
True, and he also does have an Unstoppable, which prevents all crowd control effects.
That is true. You're helping that one fan in the audience that has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I hope she's listening. It's not going to change what's happening in terms of understanding the series, but...
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more about the game could help there. The Anivia definitely rising as a ranged support alternative. Quickly becoming very meta. See it in, I feel like, the majority of our series this week.
Yeah.
We saw it in game 1, actually. It was played mid by Zeka. So...
But it's, well, actually,
or no,
it was played top by Zeus.
Played top lane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like,
I got confused by my pick Banshee.
In the truth, though, is it was used as a support flex, though, in the draft. So kind of relevant in that way is Career is low. Let's see what they can do in this early skirmish as they're a bit split.
Yeah, I think the double buff Ambessa with a little help from UCal was a little bit too much. And Showmaker was just pushing mid. So.
The thing is, I think they thought, well, this is my feeling about what D+ was trying to do there, is I think they thought they could play around the egg a little bit. They have all 4 summoners, but the egg takes so long to actually proc that I think you just lose the fight while Career is respawning if he commits further there. Yeah, either way, they decide not to fight, and because Lucid is Jarvan, they don't lose a summoner. It's all good.
Aurora's not very fun to play into Annie. You're shorter ranged, you know, even if you go stealth, she has just that AoE stun potential with multiple abilities.
He's just trying to tank the mana bar. He's like, look, Showmaker used half his mana, about TP back. Then what's he gonna do?
Yeah, he already TP'd.
So yeah. It's only 10 CS down. He's gonna catch this wave. He's not having fun now, but maybe if he can get out the lane. Break free from the lane. QMDRX. Spread your wings and fly.
What did Wolf mean by this?
You see the logo, right, with QM having their, you know, their holdings are going up, right? Like the the arrow is pointing up. That's kind of where, you know, for QM, they went 0-2 at the beginning of this week. Now they're 0-3 in terms of games, and they're down 0-1. They could only go up, right? The logo is kind of, it fits the whole Deft Last Dance narrative of when, you know, he was on this squad and they were a 6th place team, but they won the whole world championship. Like, it's very thematic. That's what I meant by all of that. Spread your wings and get out of the way.
Yeah. This is also not very fun for Aurora. I feel like UCal, he really likes Aurora, and then it's very tier listy where it's like, okay, I can do stuff on this, but the lane itself is just, it's just not fun. And I feel like Annie gets played enough that you should know that this is just not going to be a fun time. So we'll have to wait and see if he actually has an impact later on in the game, because right now he doesn't have a lot of prio either. Feels like a lot of our mid lanes generally go pretty even. As now we're going to have Shiu pulled back. He's Renekton though. He's going to pull out the Dominus and eventually just turn on to Rich and push him back.
Yeah, unfortunately for Rich, he did not get enough done there, so won't really win out on the trade. Gets the ultimate out of Shiu. Actually holding his own in terms of farm pretty well. That may change if he completes that back, which he does cancel.
Lucius going to get 6 off of this. So
this is scary.
Yeah, they're going to have to give up this Drake most likely.
Or at least Drake control.
Yeah, bot lane in control of DK as well as mid lane. So, you know, if you're Willer here, he was trying to show some pressure, you know, help out the bottom lane a little bit, but he doesn't get to do anything really. He is going to stand here and help them not get dove. And that's about all he can do. That
has a bit of a limit to it as well, though, especially with these continual trades, as UCal still does not have teleport, and Showmaker's just pushed him out of lane. Lucid will have to escape here, but he'll get out, and look at how much is lost here for UCal. He's down 20 CS and down almost 2 plates in the mid lane.
Oh, that was a nice stun into a wall, and Andil just has to flash. So now you're a Bard with no heal, no flash. You got some healing back there. But he's just going to have to back away. LazyFeel flashing in and just dies. Not like this, LazyFeel.
That's a LazyFeel moment. That's the kind of plays that he's famous for, right? Obviously when they work. And that was a good try. Too much on the other side. Smash didn't have barrier. I think that's maybe perhaps where the miscalculation came in. He's like, I don't think he lives this. The damage output I have, if he doesn't have barrier. As he's got his Q stacked. See this Q stack comes in, flashes the quirky damage, but
Slurkle missed.
Doesn't hit the Slurkle. And the Bard isn't able to offer anything, down summoners and out of range. So the Anivio picks up the kill. So he grabs a Catalyst.
Yep, eventually just going to be a champion that actually does damage at some point. Showmaker going to get ulted here by Andil, but Career is nearby, so Tipper's just thrown down. Showmaker not wanting to use his flash, but will have to at the very end.
Willer could potentially ult here. Showmaker needs to be careful without flash.
Oh, she's gonna get slowed up, and the Q's gonna hit, and all of a sudden, Xiu in a bit of trouble. Has to go into the brush, does land the stun, and all of a sudden, the Renekton sits him down! And now we got Lazy Feel nearly dying in the 1v1 as well. Rocket will do it. The flash will connect with the missile, and just like that, 2 solo kills to get DK even farther ahead.
Oh man, Rich is gonna be really hurting after that one. Lazy Field gets outplayed in the bottom lane. They are really trying to play the game, Valdez, and at least there's some gameplay more than last game as Lucid goes down.
It's a nice pick by Willer. Lucid has been playing pretty aggressively overall, just on the Jarvan.
And Willer did not use his ultimate in that last skirmish in the mid lane, so still had it available there, and so doesn't flash it. So he dies. At the end of the day, there's still a really big Corki problem as this hits and then he misses the Q. That one right there, that's the difference maker because he gets the stun off, gets the slice, dices back through, and Rich doesn't auto because he's like, I know I don't have enough damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the full shot.
Yeah.
As over here, you know, I mean, man, this is a rough day to be a QM fan, but gets hit by the Frost Bomb. And the barriers come through. Smash gets out while the barrier is up and then flashes for the final missile there. Almost looked like an auto as Willer does ult Lucid, who's a bit too far away from the rest of his team. Career can't really help him out. So at least they get one back, but everything is going a bit D+ sided.
Okay, Andal's fine. I thought, you know, if a wall comes up, maybe he's just stuck with no flash. He's barred, but
Magical Journey takes a little time, a little prep time.
Not sure what the cooldowns were like as well. Lucid is showing in the river. Doesn't seem to really care. Lucid's playing very much like face up. He's like, this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm just gonna run at you because my lanes are winning and there's, you can't do anything. Except that one time you killed me, but like, besides that, I'm still a big threat.
It kind of reminds me of game 1.
Ondil did not get the memo. And he's going to throw out an ult here, so maybe that does help him. Willer here as well is going to connect onto Smash, who's in a lot of trouble. Flash on in, and that's a shutdown for Willer, who's not ready to go quietly in this game. Ondil does go down. So Lucid does finish off that kill, but now Yukal is here.
Yukal has his ult. Tibbers is going to keep him at bay, but he wants to play for this. Ult to flip.
Yep, there it is. And now Lucid, no vision, and not going to continue. Didn't have the damage.
I mean, QM feel like they're, at this game, at least not going to go quietly into that good night, as you say. Like, they are absolutely going to fight tooth and nail for this one. But it's just not the edge they were looking for. The kill going over to Willer in that scrap where they killed Smash feels so bad. They so desperately wanted Lazyfield to have it. It's not bad for Willer to have money, but you need your Yunara to get online as soon as possible.
Here comes the Anivia gank. Kind of difficult to do against an Aurora, though. Now Willer's here. I mean, a bit of more damage does go into him. There's no objective up here just yet. Rift Herald doesn't spawn for 3 minutes.
Just a bit of a scrap in the mid lane with Career at full health, trying to push the advantage further. Go back to this here as Ondil is caught, but buys a ton of time with Tempered Fate. And then Willer comes down, right? And finally, with this ultimate from Willer, Lazyfield can finally get on top of him and kill Smash. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the last hit, so the money doesn't go completely to him. They'll still lose Ondil in the exchange. But it's just these little small things. Is Ondil looking for another play?
Yeah, not gonna land the stun though. A Smash is, he's gonna go into the Tempered Fate, so he does live. If only the tower was disabled, then maybe they could take him down.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what Ondil was hoping for there, but Smash realizes what's going on, sets himself in stasis as well. It's tough to say that he would have died for sure if he was not in stasis, but it would have given them a fighting chance there. Smash is still low.
Yeah, Ondil's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. And meanwhile, Ondil pretty low himself and doesn't really have an AD carry. Lazyfield is just backing away.
You kind of have to, if you're Ondil, feel like you know, in these types of moments, you're down in this game. you need to try something, but you have to walk that tightrope. He's doing a pretty good job of it. Lazy Feel, on the other hand.
Yeah, walking at the Anivia, not really going to work. It's not the first time they've done that.
It seems like the coaching call was clear as, oh, we're going in.
Yeah, they're going in on a Showmaker. He's actually in a decent amount of trouble. He does get his timbers off, though, and that's really all he has to do. Lucid getting really low, and he will survive, but down he goes to UCal. He does get stunned up by Showmaker. Showmaker extremely low, will get the double kill over to UCal. Meanwhile,
this time for sure.
This time for sure, as the Q is going to land, the shutdown does come through. Team KRX make it happen.
All right, Kiwum not going to give up in this one. And it's 2 kills to UCal. Picks up his belt. I mean, how do we really quantify what's going on here? Like, first things first, the Corki backs, so not able to join the extended fight. Lazy Field doesn't join this fight either, so it's just straight up a scrap between junglers in the front line. Andil does enough damage here, and then Showmaker's too low and doesn't have his Tibbers. Sure, Tibbers is offering a lot of damage here, but Career is really low on mana. They're able to use the Magical Journey to get away there, so 2 kills to UCal. And then this was just kind of a misplay.
Yeah, he got pulled back under turret.
Just way too far forward. And Rich this time hits the important cues, and the pullback is real. Game feels almost playable here for QMDRX.
I'm just glad they're doing things.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was going to say right before the scrap. Was like clearly the coaching staff feedback was, please don't just let them have everything. Fight for everything, because they are fighting for literally every single scrap they could take, every skirmish, every vision fight. They're like, oh yeah, we opt for these.
Yeah, definitely the better option between the two. See, it's not the first time he's been pulled onto the turret. I mean, it's a very classic Cassante move, and sometimes it's difficult to dodge, but in this game, even, he does seem to be pretty susceptible to it for some reason.
I don't know why, but whenever I see the Cassante pullback, it feels like when you get grabbed in a fighting game, you're like, ah, blocked at the wrong time, you know?
Yeah.
Always can catch you off guard.
Smash has the largest lead by far. You know, he did die that one time to Willer.
It's kind of the UCal show in this one, I think, for how they're going to have to play this mid-game is a bit of a tempered fate.
And they're going to catch Career, who still has his egg. And Lazy Feel is really playing with fire here. Or Frost, in this case. Andil going over the wall. It's a nice magical journey.
Good angle to maximize distance.
The engage cone. And Andil might have to flash this one, but he does land the stun, so he gets away. Showmaker gonna burn UCal's ult. UCal still going in for some more burst damage.
They are really just gonna opt into everything, aren't they? As, by the way, Dragon is spawning as this Herald is up. So maybe a jungler could just avoid the fighting and go take an objective, but no, fighting all the time.
Yes. Must fight. It looks like they might do it again here as Willer just runs straight into a wall.
Does he go back in? That's the question.
Goes down to the egg. Nice burst there from UCal, and now Ridge is going to pull him over the wall and try to gain some distance here. Slice and Dice might just get him in, but Unstoppable gets him out.
They're still holding ult.
This is just non-stop fighting here. Another great ult from Willer. He does not miss those in this game. That should be another kill to Lucid. They're trying to give the kill over, and they will be successful. UCal picks that up.
Big clap here. And I don't... Valdez, this is definitely not a thinking man's game, as Rich does not have his ult this time.
It's a lot of damage under that turret. TP is...
UCal doesn't have ult yet, but he also has red buff. Maybe he could... Okay, he's just gonna walk away. This is wild. Smash!
Uh-oh, very close. Barrier to get away. Flash on in, and Lazy Feel gets the kill. Technically wins the 1v1 until Career comes in.
Dirty cheater! But he gets the kill and not Smash. Smash still gets the assist gold. At the same time, the Herald is taken. As Willer was like, I mean, I can't do more in this game, let's be real.
Yeah.
Just let me take an objective, please. Willer didn't ult for so long, right? And he was being patient, gets this angle onto Showmaker. The follow-up CC is so easy to layer. And Showmaker's just done. And Lucid here is just a sitting duck, right? There's nothing they can do. In the bottom side of the map, you know, we'll watch this first. Pops his ult, misses the arc again. Just has enough damage here. Flashes for the final auto.
¿Por qué no spare?
I don't know what he's...
Sarke no spell,
Ah.
so he doesn't have any summoner spells. And
Spell is the Korean word for summoners.
yeah. That's a summoner spell, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, like...
There's some kind of, you know.
In English, usually say sums.
Yeah.
So that's why I was clarifying that for everyone.
Lucid sitting on a ward. Seems like he doesn't have a good idea about that. It's been a very wild game. It's kind of what I expected, you know, DK, they just can't help themselves. Like, they win game 1 very cleanly. Game number 2 is up in the air, you know.
Your tempo vibe read was 100% correct.
Ooh, nice try from Andil, but very difficult to hit a Jarvan with that, so it's going to be Bard ult down.
Would you A, take Prio and do Dragon, or B, hover around Showmaker with ult and flash next to a turret?
B.
That's what KRX decided to do as well.
B, 100%. Definitely the right answer.
Would you A, do Dragon with full Prio control, or B,
B.
fight for vision in the river brush? Where Lazyfield has no
Definitely B. Lazyfield. You could feel his... He's like trying so hard to make plays and be a big factor in the game, you know?
Well, he's got a team to set him
Here's
up.
Willer again, finds Lucid, and down he goes. A comp for Kium keeps hitting.
You know, B was also a correct answer, says Mystery Teacher, or just Valdez.
All of the above.
Smash is really pushing for this. As an item advantage, you could feel it. But Willer is going to get the Dragon, so ultimately, like you said, they get all of the above. They get the fight, they get the kill, they get the Dragon. We'll see what the soul's going to be. Ooh,
Uh-oh. Yeah, the stun hits, and Andil is going to throw out a Mikhail's. Yeah, Chemtech Soul.
but they still got the individual stats. They got a gold lead.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to happen this game.
It's not bad for Kium.
Like, Willer, like I said before, I don't think he could do more this game.
Yeah, I feel like if we go to a game 3, even if Willer, like, ints, but they still win, like, he still gets POM, because they wouldn't have a game 3 unless he was playing this well. Like,
if UCal steals that from him because it's 4-0-2, I'm like, well, let's remember how UCal got the kills, okay?
yeah.
And Willer, he has basically been the Punisher this game of all D+ members. You know, I guess career hasn't died yet, but he's been punished, actually, by Willer in some of these exchanges. Well, the Showmaker is overextending. Lucid, by the way, is the biggest offender. He's like, Lucid's not going to get away with it, not on my watch. And D+ are playing fast and loose. Showmaker is unguarded here. They didn't have vision of Lucid whatsoever, though, even though he was far away. They don't commit. Career, he gets him too!
Caught again. Goes to the egg, though, and this time the rest of DK is coming in. And they will get the Anivia, but this
Why
time...
did you just give it to Lazyfield?
Yeah, this time, Willer's not in the fight, so this is going to look a little bit differently, as Rich is going very deep to try to take out Showmaker, and so is UCal. Not sure about that call, especially with 2 here on the flank. UCal taking a ton of damage as well, and yeah, he gets the kill, but he goes down himself. And the frontline difference is big here. DK have Siu, who's just trying to lead the charge, but the stun comes in.
I think UCal's call to sacrifice himself to get the kill there because he knows that, you know, Lucid could just collapse on him is probably correct. But it means that the rest of the team can't fight. That was a big binding to come through from Andil to help them get out. Here, because Career is in egg and they're kind of panicking, like they want to give the kill to Lazyfield, but Andil's like, oh, this is taking a really long time, so he accidentally steals the kill here, which really hurts. And then Shiu teleports in, so now it's really split, right? Rich is here on the left side of the fight. UCal is pushing with him, but the fight is completely cut in half because Shiu is just going to clean up house. So this is the moment where UCal is just like, all right, get out if you can. I'm going to kill Showmaker. And they are able to barely fight their way out of this one. Lazyfield is able to dash away, and then this binding here from Andil helps them escape. So still a, you know, decent fight for Kium, but not exactly the successful conversion they're looking for, and they drop the gold lead.
And that goal lead's a big one. Lucid actually got so much money from UCal as he got the big shutdown. You saw that UCal was 5-0-2 before that fight. And yeah, so Lucid essentially able to shore up a lot of the goal deficit that he had against Willer. Still, UCal is very fed, but did get a bunch of gold over.
It's a 2 Drake lead. It's Chemtech Soldo, which would be pretty good for Casante and for Mbessa. Honestly, kind of okay for Yunara, as she was going to take a lot of damage, but he's not alone.
Yeah, pretty well baited here. I'm not sure if Rich has an out. He doesn't have his flash, and so eventually he just gets walled. So Casante, you know, he's got unstoppable. Okay, Temper Fate comes in, but there's still a TP here, and yeah, they just kind of got baited into this one. Like, everybody's abandoning ship. Andel's like, I'm getting out of here with the magical journey. Willer turned tail a long time ago. So they just lose their Casante.
Yeah, the timing was pretty rough. Like, Andil was on his way, and I think Rich was like, if I get a Tempered Fate range, which is really far, and they don't Tempered Fate me, then we're okay. As Showmaker is going to be caught by Willer again, right? Right? Willer doesn't miss, right? Doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it. I liked the Proto Belt by Showmaker to dodge the binding, but it doesn't change the outcome. He's still dead.
What is going to be the eventual outcome of this game is the real big question. Is it's going to be a bit of a longer read, but notice where Andil is on the minimap. Rich is like trying to calculate, okay, is there anything I could do here? Goes back towards the enemies who kite back, is the only one who's Tempered Fated here, and they just cannot get here in time. Then they have to leave. And then, lo and behold, D+ pull a little bit of a Kanavi here. little bit of a Kanavi.
Yeah.
Showmaker's like, I'm gonna get maximum advantage. The rest of the team leaves him. That's actually not accurate to call that a Kanavi move, really. If it were Kanavi, he'd be like flashing towards the next wave.
Yeah.
But Showmaker does get caught and picked off there. And UCal is still really huge. Smash is also really huge. Which one dies first in a real big team fight on an objective that both teams care about, I think is where this game is heading ultimately. Rich has TP, as he's going to probably need to use it if he's going to join this one. They are looking for Soul Point.
Yeah, for me, like, we do see 2 deaths on Smash, but I don't really see, unless they Mbessa ult him, how they're going to really touch this Corki. Like, yes, Smash has died a couple times, but when it comes to the team fights, when it actually gets into best or 5v5 territory, I'm not sure if Smash can be touched in this one.
Yeah, it's if you Tempered Fate and kill everyone else real fast while he's while he's in stasis, maybe that's the way. Rich is not going to like
option. This. Yeah, Rich is not going to be in a very good spot, as we do have the Built Bird online career. Going to be able to utilize that a little bit to gain some space.
He is going to get a full TP back into the fight, Rich is, so they might actually be able to secure Soul Point because he sacrificed himself for Prio. There's the TP. Kind of an angle here for Kiwoom if they can collapse with Rich.
Yeah, Rich able to come back in, and Shiu just essentially zoned away.
Here we go, Lazy Feel.
Oh, Lazy Feel in a really rough spot, but he does have some backup. The knockup comes in onto Shiu, and that's going to be the Drake going over to Kium DRX. Zandu will have to pay the price, but now over the wall goes Wheeler. He does not miss today, and Lazy feels like, yeah, I'm flashing for this. I want that gold.
Smash couldn't get access to the fight. He couldn't do that much. It was completely split up.
Well, he will now if they elect to run straight at them. As, yeah, it's, decent angle, but gotta be careful just running straight into the Anivia.
Yeah, that is a dangerous prospect to run into this 3-item Corki with the Anivia there. So watch this fight again. Like, Rich TP's back in, and look at Smash this whole time. He pushed the mid wave. Like, honestly, all you need to know when you watch this fight is watch Smash. Like, he cannot get access to hitting any of the targets. LazyFeel and Ando push Shiu away, and LazyFeel could operate in the pit because he gets the shield here from Rich. He actually is so tanky. And look, Smash just can't join. Still can't join, still can't join. They get the Dragon. LazyFeel's at half health, but he's doing damage over the wall. He still has Flash, so he's just kind of chilling. And ultimately, when the Dragon is taken, they decide this is over. He can flash over the wall, give Rich the out with a dash through. And that's the end of it. Now, chasing here was a little bit funky, a little bit weird, a little bit scary, as Rich decides to go back in, but he's like, nah, UCal attacks me out, it's fine. And, all right, Showmaker probably making some Cassante copy pastas because Rich just kind of showed up and was around, sort of, and that was enough.
Around, sort of, good enough. And so many jokes you can make that one, with that one. As Kium, it does look like they want to pressure this Baron area at least. But Rich is going to have to back and probably catch the wave bot, but he doesn't have TP. So looks like maybe Shu just gets a free push. I mean, Yukal's not going there.
They have to make it really,
Rich isn't going there.
They have to make a decisive call. Do we try to push Baron and force his TP, or do we just kind of send Rich home slowly? He gets 2/3 of the turret. If they tried to fight Baron there and he TPs in, it's really awkward. You know, it's a pretty tough fight to take, especially with no flash on Lazy Field, because he did use the flash on that dragon fight. Shu?
Item bush engage cone. Shu gets in on a Lazy Field, a big Bard ult, but I don't know if it's going to save him. The timing is good for DK, and Shu makes the play once again. He might go down here. He's going to have to pay that price, but still trading up for the side of DK as Rich is going to have to use everything to try to get out of this one. But he gets chilling smited.
If he gets out, I think it's kind of okay here.
Just used everything and doesn't have anything left in the tank.
If he was able to get out, you know, a 1-for-1 feels pretty decent because there's no objective realistically to take. I think for Baron, you know, if Rich survives there, you can't really start it. Even if he's dead, it's a little bit awkward here for D+. The problem with this play here for me, for Shu, is he uses his flash. There's no major objective. There isn't a real team fight win here. And Lazy Field isn't the real carry. You know, Yukal is still here. So, yes, eventually he'll be the real carry later on in this game. But now your Renekton doesn't have flash. You killed a flashless Yunara before a realistic objective is around. So, Rich dying here, though, makes it a little bit more interesting. This flag and drag allows the wall to stop him from doing anything he has taken out. So in live, as you can see, the Baron hasn't started yet. They're going to clear vision around it, but by the time they do, Rich will be back up with TP. Yukal's ult's back up. He has TP. D+ are in control of the game, air quotes, but they really have all their eggs in one basket here.
That's good because Anivia's on their team, right?
Yeah.
That's a good reference.
Yeah. Easter was fairly recent?
It's tomorrow.
Oh.
You're living in the future, man. Shu's dead. I mean, they're just going to start Baron because of that.
Well, I mean, both Soul Lanes had TP, but this jungler doesn't, so Willer can't get here.
Willer doesn't have TP. Not yet. Not in this version of the game. I think they just take Baron. Although we are going to have Showmaker just die, and no, they don't have enough damage. Because DK are not able to convert on the jungler being bot, and that should be Baron for Kium DRX.
It makes sense because Easter was recently
recent tomorrow. The closer Sunday.
Look, they got the kill. They had TP. I think what D+ didn't account for is the Tempered Fate. The Tempered Fate messes this all up, all the timings, because D+, when Shield gets caught here, watch the minimap. Look at the collapse, like instantly Lucid is on the Baron. And this 4-item Corki is ready to go. They're like, okay, we should be able to get this down in time. Lazyfield can't challenge us. He's not even a champion in this game. Then Tempered Fate hits and they're like, uh-oh, can't rush down Baron. And then Rich comes through here. The follow-up is there from Yukal, who does massive amounts of damage. He's like 3,000 gold ahead in this game. And it's been the battle of Corki versus Aurora. And even though the Corki has a ton of money, when was the last time I saw the Corki do damage in these team fights? Like, Smash has not been able to do anything, whereas Yukal is doing everything all the time.
Yeah. He's really only hitting the Cassante. I mean, there is a world where they take the Baron, but then, you know, Smash is essentially saying, I'm going to trade my life for the Baron. And as an AD carry, as a team, that's just not generally a good idea. Like, maybe you get the Baron and then you all just die. In hindsight, maybe that's a better feeling than giving over the Chemtech Soul and the Baron to Kium DRX, but
listen, I have been told by production, by the way, that I'm not wrong because Easter was only 349 days ago, if you think about it. In the history of the world, that's pretty recent. In the history of how long Easter's been around, like even more recent.
Yeah. I guess so.
Get your bunnies out. Bunny Girl, by the way, for Yukal, 3.4K ahead.
Yeah.
Guess the Easter Bunny came early, Valdez. It's got some treats for D+. All right, Smash is going to get out with Valkyrie, so that's an ult for a basic ability.
But they're going to go in and find the bird. And Lucid not really able to peel all too much. UCal is there and nearly takes the GA away. Not quite able to do so.
This Rich versus Shiu grudge match has been very fun.
A lot of fighting. And nope, just going to get stunned up.
Jack shows, plus he has the cheater's belt, where you can get that item for basically free, and it's broken on Cassante, and he has Jack shows. So she was like, okay, you can go. Vandal Pipe's picked up for Andil. They're really vibing now.
Yep.
That's a 3-item support.
Only sad he got it as his 3rd item.
I think that Andil, like when I watch this game, it's funny because it's kind of been a pick comp for QM, how they've played it with, you know, Willer and the burst damage from UCal.
Yeah.
The Bard damage has been very relevant in a lot of these. Like the Electrocute proc has been the difference maker in some of these critical picks in the mid game. Now they have Chemtech Soul for Lazy Feel, and even though he's 2.5k behind, he does a lot of damage. Where's a whole level behind as well? Well, it's in the shop. He has, you know, he's
5th item IE on the way.
Well, he's like, look, I mean,
when you said he was going to deal damage later in the game, I didn't think you meant 40 minutes.
I mean, like, will he have dealt more damage than Smash in this game? Probably not, because Smash hit Cassante a lot, but he would have done more relevant damage than Smash in this game. There's an argument to be made.
We can give it to him.
Because, like, when I look at these gold leads between the 3.4k for UCal and the 2.6 for Smash, and you watch every team fight, who has the big explosive damage? Who has warped every team fight? It hasn't been Smash. He's an 80 carry, mind you, but just hasn't been set up for success. As look at this, UCal's just like, Showmaker, your health is gone.
Yeah, they are going to use a lot to try to get him. They do not. And Showmaker holds on to his Tibbers, so kind of an interesting angle here for DK potentially. Lazyfield taking a huge burst of damage. And now D plus Kia are on the chase. Shiu on the big flank through the river, but they're actually getting engaged on the left side. Rich essentially just trying to give his life away for the team, it looks like, as Shiu's going to find the angle. Not able to taxi out is Rich just yet, but now gets over to Andil. And there's the magical journey to get them all out.
Crazy they escape there. And now they're waiting for Lucid.
Yeah, he's going to get stunned up. He has GA, though. Waiting for that one. Shiu once again on the flank. He's like, uh-oh.
Willer's also like, I'm level 18 as well. And Carrera's like, you stop right there. Do not chase any further. We are done.
Beware of crocodile.
You stay right in that crook pit. Okay. Where are we in this game? Still a small, at this point, 36 minutes and 2.6k gold lead. Practically irrelevant. It's a massive lead for Willer and for UCal. In that fight, Smash hit like one rocket on the lazy field and otherwise was slowly trying to chase, as Rich didn't take the initial magical journey because he wanted to help Peel. They get enough time to get the second one. And lazy field is just kind of bait at this point. Got his ult?
Yeah, I would like if he baited a little bit less. Or at least not like that. I'm not sure he understands how the Anivia works. This keeps happening where he's like, no, he can't wall me from there. Yes, he can.
Willer's over here.
And now Career, he does have flash. He's not going to use it. And look at the damage from the core cam, and you have to respect this. The double stun. Showmaker finally does something. They're going to get the bar. They find Lazy Feel as well. And UCal finally turns up, but is it too late is the question. Gets stunned by the Anivia and just has to run away. The rest of the team is already dead. It's too little and too late.
UCal's trying to convince him the Easter Bunny is real.
Career.
And he got his egg. That's what the Easter Bunny does, right? Gives eggs as their chocolate in there. I thought we had a series, Valdez, and it all just crumbles.
We never did. And UCal, he is going to hop backwards, but eventually has to play into Anivia. Goes golden. And that's going to be the end of that. Looks like T plus Kia finally done enough to end this game. Maybe I thought we were going to have 3 games, but it wasn't meant to be. 37 minutes in against Chemtech Soul. And D plus Kia are still able to take them down 2-0 tonight. It's not difficult.
They did play League of Legends a
So
lot.
CV Max is really happy with Career. Gave him a big hug, did his whole CV Max thing where he sprints out and hugs one player. This time it was Career.
I think it was a pretty significant improvement, frankly, over his series earlier this week. So I think that's warranted.
Hey, you see,
This is what, when we talk about clean comms, this is not what we have in mind.
I mean, they're not the only team. I mean, have you listened to KT? And they're beating all the best teams. So, I don't know.
Smash did, in fact, do more damage than Lazy Feel.
Yeah.
He did, in fact, have way more gold than him as well.
We have a fun goal difference graph as well, which was very up and down and sideways. I feel bad for Willer, man. He deserves POM after they won Game 3, which happened recently.
Well,
all right, who's
guess
POM?
Kiwim fans got to put their basket
It's
up tonight.
Smash.
Smash
Boom,
steals
boom
it.
damage. You know when you got to turn off your brain, it kind of makes sense. His Jhin and his Corky were great. So
His Jhin was really quite good.
Yeah.
Good follow.